Every time I hear about education in regards to this administration is when they're talking about foreign students.
Yeah, no. Well, then you're dumb, okay? Because that's not the only time they talk about it. They talk about it when they're talking about getting rid of it completely. Okay, yeah, it was a fucking lie when Trump said he was going to do education reform. When he said reform, he meant fucking axe it to death, okay? Fucking chop it up into little bits and spray its pulp down the drain. Okay, that's what like literally, and this is just like open. This isn't even like what I'm saying isn't like reading between the lines or like speculating on, oh, did Trump mean this or what? Like, no, Trump has openly stated, you know, what was the thing he said about his pick for the secretary? She needs to put herself out of a job, right? Meaning that he wants to get rid of the Department of Education completely. That is insane, okay? When Trump said education reform, what he meant was privatization. Okay, so we're gonna privatize education. Did you know that people own huskies in Florida? In fucking Florida? I met someone who has a husky in Florida. I also met someone who has a German Shepherd. It's cruel, in my opinion. Just for them to like survive and be somewhat comfortable, you have to give them ice baths every day.
Alexander _ Vladimirovic said, tell Trump deport Latina women's to Russia, we are bored with blondes.
Yeah, well, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen, bro. Because then we don't get to murderize them, which is, of course, the ultimate point to deportation. It's not to get rid of them.
Alexander _ Vladimirovic said, husky will die man, mine one is sitting in snow all night there for cold.
Yeah, people own them in Florida, bro. It's crazy. Americans are stupid and cruel, so they think it's alright. But I try to tell them. I really do, man. Alright, anyway, enough dilly-dallying. Okay, because we're reacting. Okay, you're here early. You're here for the reacts. I'm reacting to this groyper. Okay, now, you may not know what a groyper is. You may know what a groyper is. I don't know. You are a Russian person, after all. But groypers are like young conservatives, young right-wing people. So you'll probably get along just fine with guys like this, okay? But I don't.
What does
I
it
do not.
mean to be an American? What does it mean to you? What qualifies a person to be considered a true American?
Yeah, so this is an interesting question. You know, what is an American? You know, luckily, our government legally defines what an American is, who is an American, who is not. Okay, and an American is traditionally anyone that's born here. Okay, but that's no longer the case. So now an American is somebody who is a resident here, is a long-term resident, a legal resident. Okay, and it's someone who has been naturalized or was born from two American parents. Okay, so that's like the legal definition, and there's like a more concise way of putting that. You know, I took the more long-winded approach, but I'm not a fucking dictionary, okay, so I don't know.
Let me tell you, nowadays, all you gotta do is
that's
pay
pretty
$1
much what
million
it
and
is.
you and your loved ones can qualify for the Trump Gold Card.
Okay, so this is true. This is true. Now, we will see if this card actually does what it says it does. For anybody that doesn't know.
Alexander _ Vladimirovic said, is the legal definition to be from any country? IDK man.
Yeah, well, you know, I was talking about somebody being an American citizen, okay, versus a resident. Like, you know, technically both are Americans. It's just that nationalists will try to narrow, right, the definition of what a person from their country of origin is. So, like, the the parameters for what makes someone an American is ever changing. Okay, the nationalists are always going to shift the goalpost. Once they get what they want, they may not do it constantly. They may not constantly shift the goalpost, but once they get what they want, they will move on to something more racist. Okay, that's always it. There's always more of an outgroup. There's always another outgroup that you can, or another group of people that you can turn into the outgroup. And what he's going to say here is brown people are now going to be able to buy their way into America, which they've always been able to do. Okay, Trump isn't changing this. But he thinks that the way that Trump is doing it is problematic, probably because Trump has ties to Muslim nations, Qatar, Iran. You know, Trump is like, but Saudi Arabia, not Iran, sorry, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, definitely not Iran. We haven't had any relations with them since the Reagan era. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's it. That's how it works, man.
Life in America.
You can buy your way in.
New Trump Gold Card Visa. Submit your application today.
Oh yeah. So in case you don't know, Trump, the president of the United States, just announced this new Trump Gold Card, which you can buy for, I believe, the starting price is $1 million. Okay, and it's supposed to expedite your immigration process. So if you want to move to America, you can buy this gold card, and it's supposed to get you in faster. Okay. It's supposed to give you residence here, regardless of your immigration status, for I think like 90 days or something. You can just stay here basically illegally. Okay, like what would otherwise be illegal. I mean, really, it is just illegal. That's it. Like, there's nothing about this card.
$5 million. I know about that, but good for rich to lure them to invest here or criminals to come there.
Yeah, but it's just that I don't think that this is going to work very well because it's illegal. Like, in America, we have a process, a legal process that you have to go through to immigrate here. And the president doesn't have a traditional power to, like, go around that process. Like, this just seems like you're taking illegal immigrants and you're giving them, like, residence, which is exactly what they say Biden did, even though he didn't. He just extended the refugee status. Okay, but so you're basically doing what people think Biden did, what conservatives think he did, and but you're doing it in like a pro-capitalism way. You know, like we're not gonna let the poors in. We're just the people with lots of money. Just the people with lots of money. Okay.
Hey, on the website, on the official government United States website, it only costs $1 million.
And look, when it comes to importing rich people into the country, that I think that people like you see that as a positive necessarily. Like, what, you know, why wouldn't we want to have more rich people in the country, right? The poors are committing the crimes. The poors are committing all the crimes. What rich people are so great. Okay, except they're not. Rich people are a parasitic force for the most part. And I was talking about this the other day with another leftist off stream. And I want to have this conversation with someone at some point on stream, but anyway, there are good billionaires and there are bad billionaires. Now, what I mean by this is, all billionaires are problematic, in my opinion. We should not have billionaires, but not all of them are equal. Okay, some of them are good, some of them are bad. Obviously, Bill Gates is an evil, probably baby killer, right? He probably, like, kills babies and drinks their blood and all that shit. Okay, but then you have someone like Gabe Newell, right, who is a billionaire that is trying to use his money for good. He's trying to do research, science, and whatnot. He does a lot of pro-consumer business practices. with Steam. And with that being said, Gabe Newell has also done some fucked up shit at Valve, and I've criticized him over it, particularly when it comes to gambling. Okay, Valve has promoted gambling. They love gambling. Gambling is so awesome.
Vladimirovic said there are no good billionaires, they care for money, but at least they gave some jobs for me. Millionaires are okay, but if someone become billionaire, we should tax them double.
More than double, man. In America, we had a prosperous period recently. There was a moment in time where my country was very prosperous. And it just so happens that during that time, we were taxing these rich people 90% or more of their yearly income. Okay, because they had an income. Now they have cheated. First of all, they've lowered taxes on these higher income brackets, so it's no longer anywhere near 90%. Now it's like 50%, or like even less. I think after the Trump tax cuts, it's like 33%, right? Anyway, it doesn't even fucking matter because none of these guys have an income. Okay, they hoard as much wealth as they can, and then they borrow against it, and that doesn't count as income. Okay, so there is a way to counter this, and it's with capital gains tax. Okay, we already have a system in place to tax these people on their assets, but capital gains tax doesn't apply until you sell your assets. Okay, and I think that's bullshit. Okay, so like capital gains, I'm not saying that we have to expand capital gains tax necessarily. We just need to create a new tax, okay, to tax speculated assets.
Vladimirovic said, I see America not as a country, as a modern-day empire, and every empire has an expiry date, and eventually they fall, no matter they are Rome or Ottomans or the USSR.
Yeah, I agree. Countries, they don't just fall. Empires don't just fall, they change. They expand, they shrink, they change. I don't know if America will fall, man, like anytime soon. I think that if you want it to be soon, it's probably not going to happen. And also, we may be past a point where empires can fall because of nuclear capabilities, because of nuclear, like the dominoes are in place to like not allow this to happen. Okay, the surveillance state, nuclear technology, right? All of this stuff, suppression of political dissent. It's all of these things are happening, and it's kind of hard to say if America will fall. I think that if we were to get in all these different conflicts right now, right? Like Venezuela, Iran, and then on top of that, Ukraine and Gaza, we would be spreading ourselves extremely thin, and that would open us up to, a malicious intent, a malicious attack. And I'm not saying that would be like a war scenario, like we're attacked in a warlike sense, or in a violent way, but more like I think that it would put us in a position to, like we've already had election meddling, we've already had election, your country has interfered in my country's elections, and I'm not saying that we haven't done that too, okay, like, odds are we have, maybe not with your country, but with others. But like your country has meddled in our elections, and I think that if we are going to get distracted by all these different conflicts, that's going to open the door for more of that election interference. So it'll make 2016 look like a joke, man. No, we don't want it to fall because a country with similar amount of nuclear as Russia, like 5,500 something, we don't want that fall, but we also don't want it to fall into some bad people hands like jihadis, because the whole world will be on fire then. We don't want it to fall because a country... Oh, yeah, okay. I just sent it twice. Yeah, hold on. I don't think the Russian people want the American Empire to fall. The Russians that I've met, they like America, for the most part. I mean, I don't know. You live over there. I can't really say what your people think, for sure. But all the Russians I've met have been not only kind and just like polite people, but they also like America. They think America is cool. So I believe that. But Putin, though, the government is a different thing, of course. I think that the Russian government wants the American Empire to fall. I think they're trying to make that happen. And there's really only one way to do it, and that is to get America into a bunch of different wars.
Vladimirovic said, we like Americans, not American government, and their policies. Yeah, USA is cool.
Yeah, and that's a big difference between, most of the world and Americans, because I think most Americans are not like that. I don't think, like, a lot of Americans are normal people. Okay, a lot of them are. But there is of course, a large conservative movement, a nationalist movement, and a lot of these people see Russian people as their enemy. They see nations like Iran and their people as their enemy, like these people are trying to kill us. And there's a lot of that kind of sentiment. I think that if this movement, this conservative, this nationalist movement grows, you're probably not gonna, meet a ton of Americans that are like very hospitable to people of other nations or non-xenophobic, is what I mean. So just be on the lookout for that, man. Like Americans, they change their tune, they don't
plus $15,000
really
to
change their
process
attitude.
the transaction, of course. But besides that, it's like that's all it costs. That's all it is. What does it mean to be an American? What qualifies somebody to be an American? Well, it's just $1 million. But today, guys, we are going to talk about H-1Bs yet again.
So I think when you were talking about $5 million, the $5 million card is like the upgraded version. So you can get the $1 million version, but then there's another tier to it. Okay, so you can pay $5 million, and then it's like even faster than, or something. I don't know. I can't remember what the fucking benefits are. It's stupid. Anyway.
And we're going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about what is currently going on with American companies that are fixing to cut jobs to actual Americans and then replace actual American workers with foreigners. So that's going to be exciting. That's never happened before, dude. We've never had to talk about that before on this channel, ever. I've never had to make a video about this exact subject.
They're
because
replacing
the government
us.
would never do this to us, right? They would never do this to their own people. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting topic. And before we get into this video, I'm going to have to give a shout out.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks that. Man. Everybody knows that the government is out to get us, because they are. It's obvious at this point. They're basically openly admitting it. Okay, the government wants to kill you. And for some reason, they want you to know it.
To my friend Lilith
They want you to
Groyper
know it,
on
too.
Twitter, on X, because they're the ones who actually messaged me kind of regarding this topic, this subject, and they gave me some different examples of what was going on, and they brought up like, hey, this thing's kind of going on with this one issue with India and with all these foreigners coming over here, and it's like, this is kind of crazy. And so I got to give them full credit for this idea, for this video, 100%, so shout out to them. But that was a week ago, and what's crazy is that a week later, after that, there's been even more stuff related to this topic coming out, with basically all of these American tech companies, these CEOs that are Indian. Turns out a lot of tech companies' CEOs are actually Indian, and they're cutting deals with our own government, with the Trump's administration, all these deals to bring in more and more foreign workers. And we'll talk about the Trump Gold Card. That was kind of just like an entryway into the video, but it is relevant to this because, to be honest, the Gold Card is just kind of more insulting than anything else. But India is basically, it's no surprise to anybody who's listening or watching this. There's a lot of H-1Bs coming from India. There's a lot of foreign workers coming from India on all these different visas, taking jobs. And then there's immigration. They're putting a stop on all these different countries for immigration. You can't come from third world countries. You can't come from here, there, wherever, but except India. India is the one exception. They will not stop the immigration, and we know why. It's because there are deals being made. A lot of these Silicon Valley companies are completely run and dominated by Indians. their CEOs, their board of directors, and whether they're making deals with our own government to increase the amount of foreign workers they can bring in, or deals that they're making with people back in India to hire only Indians to their companies. To single-handedly replace the entire demographics, the makeup of all these different groups with just foreigners. That is something that is currently happening. You see it with H-1Bs, you see it with immigrants coming over here legally, getting green cards, all these different things. They are straight up just looking out for their own. And the reason why I asked at the beginning, like, what is an American to you? What qualifies somebody to be an American to you in your eyes? Is it really just a green card? Actually somebody waiting in line for 10 years to get a green card, to get processed as an American? Does that make them an American citizen? I see all these conservatives and Republicans saying shit like that. I've heard shit like that for over a decade at this point. An American is anybody who waits and does it the right way. You see somebody like Brillin Hollyhand, the fucking chungus of the year, coming out and saying, I could not in good conscience close the door on any immigrant who would wait patiently in line and do things the right way to gain an American citizenship. Is that all it is? Is that what being an American is to you? Is it the fucking Trump gold card? Is it waiting 10 years to become a citizen? And somebody's...
Yeah, so I agree with him here. I agree with him. I think it's stupid too. It's just that what he's going to say is we shouldn't give brown people the opportunity to even wait for 10 years because they could never be real Americans. But I think that the process is way too long. It's stupid. There's way too many hoops that you have to jump through when immigrating here. It's ridiculous. It's just gotten more and more complicated over time, over the last 80 years. Immigration here has gotten more and more difficult because more and more legislation is passed because of all of the racist rhetoric that we allow to go on here, okay, about immigrants. Like, liberals have always taken the moderate position. So they allow Republicans to pass more anti-immigration, racist legislation, making it harder for brown people to move here, incentivizing them to come here illegally, to cross the border illegally, or to not renew their documents, which is more common. And then that happens, and they use that as justification to make it even harder. So it's like you're making the problem worse, and then complaining about the problem. And your solution when complaining about the problem is to make the problem even worse so you can complain about it more and make it worse. And it is so fucking stupid, dude.
He's going to come out and say, oh, well, you do know they have to study and they have to take tests and they have to learn a lot about our country's history. And it's like, bro, that's fucking bullshit. I meet people all the time that have green cards. I've gone out with girls that are DACA. Dude, they're on the DACA program. They don't know fucking shit.
Yeah, bro, you've gone out with girls. Right. Yo, that's a lie. That's a goddamn lie.
They know just as much as the average public school person. I know there's this theory that's like, oh, well, green card holders actually know much more about America than actual American children. Like, that's a fucking flex on American children. It's like, no, you idiot. If anything, if that is true, that just proves how fucked up our education system is. That it completely fails.
Yeah, it is. Our education sucks. So you're right. It is a testament to that. You are correct. Okay. Does that mean that they're bad? Does that mean the foreigners are bad? Obviously not.
Its own citizens and
they're
properly
bad
educating
they're brown,
them on their own country.
Course.
That's what that does.
Don't you know?
It's not a flex on the kids because they don't know who George Washington is or what year the Declaration of Independence was written or whatever the fuck. It's showing you how fucked up our own educational system is. But instead of spending the proper amount of time and resources and attention on fixing that, we'll do all this fucking bullshit to bring over as much foreigners as possible. You know, like, what makes an American citizen? Is it really just waiting the 10 years, taking a fucking test? Is that it? Is that how it works?
He's acting like it's the pro-immigration party that is anti-education. Okay, there is an anti-education party in America. It's the Republicans. Okay, now, you know, that may sound slanderous, right? Oh, wow, you just think Republicans hate education, they hate learning? Well, this is real. This shit happens, okay? Republicans cut funding to education. They squash education reform. They want to privatize education, which is a terrible fucking idea for improving educational outcomes. And anyway, they do all of this, and then they turn around and they're like, throwing more money at the problem won't fix it. education just sucks, and it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, yep. Like, no, man. Liberals want to make immigration easier, right? Generally, this is the progressive agenda. We want to make education more accessible as well. Okay, like what I'm saying is the libs, the Democrats, they are the party of education. They expand education. They provide free lunches to their constituents, to their children that are school age. So don't sit there and be like, nobody wants to talk about immigration. They just want to, instead of improving our own educational outcomes, they just want to import educated people. Like, no, man. Leftists want to do both. Okay, we're the richest fucking country on the planet. We can afford to import the smartest people, the smartest minds from all over the world, and we can afford to improve our own education here. That's it.
In every country is like, does that make you Japanese? If you go to Japan and you take a test and you wait in line and you get a citizenship over there, do those people see you as Japanese? No. If you were to move to Japan, and if you're from America or any country, if you weren't born there, if you weren't raised there, you will never be seen as Japanese, even from a racial standpoint. And a lot of people say,
I hate this argument. I hate this argument because is that a good thing? Is that a good thing? So, like, this person would argue, yes. Yes, it is a good thing. I would say, what is the biggest problem facing Japan today? Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. They have too many old people and not enough young people. Huh. Well, how do you fix that? How do you fix that? And what they'll say is, you need to make young people fuck. Okay, young people need to be fucking. Okay, and having children, starting families. Okay, except there's another solution to this. That is something that you also need to make happen. You need birth rates to climb. Okay, and the way you accomplish this is through giving young people more opportunities. Okay, more investment opportunities, job opportunities, housing opportunities. Okay, because that's how people start a family. They buy a home, they move in, they have a partner, they become stable. Okay, they start a family. But anyway, there's another solution to declining birth rates, and that is immigration. That is immigration. If you can import young people from other countries, okay, they can help boost the economy while the natives are taking care of their parents, their aging parents. Okay, because make no mistake, this is how it works. Okay, when you have a population of people that is getting older, okay, on average, what that means is you have a lot of old people, and the young people got to take care of them. Okay, because those old people are their parents and their grandparents. So the young people, they have to work, they have to take care of their parents. Sometimes think about what old people need. They need drugs, they need medical care, they need nurses, they need care. This is a lot of shit. Okay, young people can't afford all this. So anyway, Japan has this whole host of problems, and what you're saying is we need those problems. We should have those problems too. Oh man, yeah, America should have declining an aging population and declining birth rates. That would be so awesome. Yeah, just like Japan. Let's go, bro.
Oh, but Japan is a multicultural society like America. It's not a melting pot. Well, what good is being a melting pot, dude? We don't fucking like each other. We don't get along. Everything's getting worse. The more multicultural America gets, the worse.
You don't get along. You don't get along. None of you groypers get along with anyone that isn't another groyper. That isn't a young, white, Christian male. Okay, it's stupid. It's stupid. Young, white, Christian male for the most part. Okay, yeah, I know you guys have your tokens. Okay, you have fucking Sneeko and shit. Okay, but like for the most part, you don't get along with anyone that isn't white like you and male. So I don't know, man. Maybe the solution to that is to make some friends that have, slightly darker complexions than yours. Maybe start talking to them and hearing their perspective and, treating them like people with their own individual takes and opinions.
And a lot of people would say, oh, well, that doesn't actually correlate to what you're saying. That doesn't actually, they're completely two separate things entirely. And it's like, are they? Are they really? I think that's a conversation we need to start having more. Is that the case? Because I don't think it is at this point. I think there are other issues, yeah, obviously, but I think that's one of the main problems, is that we don't have unity, and that is unity by race. That is unity by traditions, by culture. Even the people that say, oh, it's just cultural, it's like, okay, I'll agree, just for the sake of the argument. We still don't have a unifying culture. What is being an American anyways? There are people who live here who fucking hate this country. They want this country to fail. They hate our laws.
That's because American culture is a melting pot. Okay, it is what the fucking libs say. Okay, and what that means is America is when they say America is a melting pot, it means there's lots of people from all over the world who have moved here and they've brought their culture. And that culture has influenced life in America, all of our lives, our culture. Okay, American culture has developed by the appropriation of other cultures, and not in like a problematic sense. Okay, now, with that being said, what these nationalists want is like a unifying white culture. Okay, a Western European white culture, but this doesn't exist. This isn't real. Okay, there is no unifying white culture. Okay, white people are going to be hating each other. Okay, we are. When you get down to nationalism, we're going to be hating each other. Okay, because there is no unified white culture. There are a bunch of individual white cultures and ethnic groups, like Irish, German. I of course I could go on. Okay, all the European groups. Okay, and these are all distinct from each other. These are all separate. So this isn't what unifies us. It's not our whiteness. Okay, I understand the call and the need for unity. I think we do need unity here in America. It's not going to come from like white American culture, because like I said, it's not real. Okay, it's going to come from labor solidarity. Okay, as in like we are all in this system, this capitalist system that we did not like choose. We didn't consent to this. Okay, we're just forced to operate within this system, and everybody hates it. Everybody fucking hates it. Okay, whether they want to, talk about how the alternative socialism is better or not, but like whether you want socialism or you want nationalism, you want fascism, okay, whatever you want to call it, everybody wants it to change because everybody is miserable. So it's probably going to change because everybody wants it to. It's just like which path are we going to go down? Are we going to go down the fake bullshit where we need to like figure out who the real whites are? Okay, we need to have a pure white movement and figure out who the real whites are and get all the fake whites out. Okay, is that really what we're going to do? Do you think that is like the smartest move for our nation? I don't think so, man. I don't think that's the case.
They hate our traditions. They hate our history. They're completely ashamed. This isn't even just foreigners. I'm talking about people that actually are real citizens, that actually are real Americans. They fucking hate this place. Does that make them traitors? Is there even any type of level we can judge what a traitor is anymore in this country? It's like somebody who lives here and is from here, and they absolutely prey on the downfall of this nation. Are they still American?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, look, this isn't going to work for much longer, I don't think. What he's saying here is something that Republicans have been saying for as long as I can remember, since way before I was born. Okay, and that is that Republicans love America. Okay, Republicans love America. We love tradition. We love America. And Democrats just hate America. They hate America. They hate our tradition. They hate our heritage. It's self-hatred. It's white guilt. It's white guilt. Okay. And the reason that this isn't going to work for much longer is because it's so at this point it's already an obvious lie. It's already obvious bullshit. Okay, because conservatives are not happy with America. They do not love America. They do not. Okay, you can say all day that you're patriotic. I love America. I love it, brother. Like, I do that too, because I do love America. We all do. Okay, we just are frustrated by the system. We are frustrated by the system. We hate the system. Okay, we love each other because we're a nation of people. Okay, and we all have similar values. Yada yada. Like, we share this American culture, and we love each other. We love them, like all Americans do, for the most part. But Republicans for the longest time have owned patriotism. They've owned it. Like, we're the patriotic party, and you can't beat them in it. You cannot beat Republicans in patriotism. Okay, because for the longest time, the military could do no wrong. The Republicans were always on the side of the military, and so were Democrats, but they would, occasionally, like, criticize, fucking advanced interrogation techniques and shit like that. And anyway, it's gotten to a point where conservatives are really, really unhappy with the outcomes that this system is creating. Okay, and while they may want to do nationalism, they may want to do fascism, that's not loving the country. Okay, it's not. You also hate the country, man. You do. That's why you have a YouTube channel where you complain about the country. It's because you hate it. You may love America at the end of the day. Okay, well, so does everyone else. So do fucking Democrats. So do liberals. They want to change the country because they don't like the way it is right now, and they want to change it because they love it. Because they love the country. It's the same reason you do. Okay, so, like, you need to stop saying this. You really do. Like, I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work in the future.
American? Like, what the fuck does it even mean to be an American? Is it just beer and working 40 hours a week and paying your taxes and listening to country music and voting Republican and fucking, having a dog and shooting a gun? Does that make you an American? Is that all it is? It's just materialistic things? There's no, like, duty. There's no responsibility on the American people to be upheld to any type of standard to make them an American. It's just have a fucking green card, wait in line, pay $1 million for a fucking gold card. As long as you know what being an American is? Guys, I figured it out. You know what being an American is? It's being 100% okay and completely compliant to the fact that you're going to get replaced by fucking Indians. That's what being an American is. It's shutting the fuck up, not complaining, going to your little goy slap job, paying your fucking goy slap taxes, being a good little goy, being a good little fucking bitch, and just letting yourself and your own people and your own family and your own neighborhoods and communities get fucking replaced by people who don't even speak English. That's what being an American is. I have figured it out, my brothers.
So, while this is disgusting racism, okay, this person's anger, it comes from a real place, because what he's talking about, which is job insecurity, it's a real thing. Okay, Americans, they be getting laid off, okay, especially right now. Okay, but, like, all throughout time, throughout the duration of the continuity of the United States, people have been getting left behind. People have been getting laid off and left behind. It's what happens. And anyway, the problem is that this person is arguing about this at the point of race, when this is really just about, like, paying like people that already have jobs more and giving them more job security. And let me tell you something, man. You're not going to get that by brutalizing brown people. You're never going to get that by brutalizing brown people, ever. But there is a way that you can get it. It just doesn't involve brutalizing brown people.
That's what it means to be an American, truly. But no, seriously, actually, what is it? Is there any standard at all? Is there any actual, like, true unifying responsibility that Americans have, other than just be okay with getting replaced, and when the time comes and we have to go to war, send your kids off to war to fucking die so we can import more foreign?
I think that being an American means fighting for the little guy. You know, and that's what being an American has always truly been. Like, the people that we look up to the most in our country's history are the people that fought for people who were exploited, underprivileged, okay, people that were taken advantage of by our government, and the people that are demonized in American history, at least by leftists anyway, are people who have done evil shit, like Andrew Jackson. Okay, so like, when it comes to, and you know, when it comes to demonizing American figures, conservatives just don't really ever do that at all, except for maybe MLK in recent years. But not really, not for the most part. Okay, but anyway, I think that it's not brown people that are causing our conditions to be so low. It's because rich people are firing us, not paying us enough, replacing us with AI, not fucking brown people. Okay, now over the last couple decades, the funniest part about this is it's funny to complain about this now. Okay, because right now I would say that more Americans are being replaced by AI than shifting to an overseas workforce, right? Like exporting your labor to India. Okay, that's like, you know, that was very common 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Okay, this was happening all the time. Okay, and you know, to some extent it still is. And, you know, again, I'm not blaming Indians for this. I'm not blaming brown people. This is just the way the market works. Okay, like, labor in that country was cheaper, so the rich people in my country put their businesses there so they could get more profit. They could hoard more wealth and not share it with Americans. And in fact, actually fire Americans and put them down. Okay, and this is how capitalism goes. This is the way it works. But this isn't really the way it's working right now. Okay, because right now, AI is taking our jobs. And it's probably only going to get worse. Okay, so get ready.
Foreigners into this nation, so IBM can have more.
Because we're all going to be, we're not going to be talking about brown people or sand inwards or whatever. We're going to be talking about clankers. Okay, we're gonna be talking about wire backs.
Please, you know, IBM is fixing to cut a bunch of their positions for American workers. Thousands of jobs. Thousands of jobs.
It's so fucked up.
And yet they're still doing press conferences with Trump where they're talking about H-1B visas and importing, you know, the right type of workers. Trump coming out and saying, oh, it's just a shame that all these Chinese students and Indian students and French students, they come here, they go to our schools, they get good grades, they do all these things, and then once they graduate, they got to go back. We got to send them back. I just don't like that. We should keep them. We should keep them. Why? Why the fuck should we keep any of these fucking people, dude? I don't want these students here. And somebody's going to say, oh, so we can compete with China, so we can compete with India. Why the fuck do we need to compete with India, bro? Have you even done any bit of research into India's economy, into their infrastructure? Bro, their shit is so fucked. They will build a bridge, and that bridge will collapse in like less than 5 years, and hundreds of people will die. Their shit is falling apart. They have a fucking holy river that they bathe in that is literally like 80% actual shit. It is fecal matter. And they think it's holy. Dude, I don't fucking think we need their best and brightest. If anything, you're doing a disservice to India. We shouldn't be taking their smart people, bro. Whatever smart people they have, fucking let them keep them. They need that shit more than we do. I don't think we need to compete with India at all on that level. And with China, we need to keep China's best and brightest. What the fuck are we even doing? What is the point to all of this? What's the fucking point of this country? What's the actual fucking point of this nation? What's the point of being an American? What's the point of telling some kid, hey, you should go join the military so you could sacrifice potentially your life to protect this nation and its freedoms? So why? So this country can betray its own citizens and give opportunities and jobs and benefits to fucking people who aren't even citizens? Or so they can embolden and enable the attitude of people who are citizens that fucking hate this country to continue on hating this country? I get it's we're supposed to have freedom. I understand the freedom is important, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. I'm not saying that's bad, but it's like, come on, dude. At what point does any of this make sense? This great experiment that we have currently going on, all these things that are going on, so we can just compete forever with all these different nations by just importing their best and brightest? Fuck their best and brightest. We don't need them. We have people here. In a weird way, it's like they're creating all these elite classes of foreigners.
By the way, I'm not going to go and debunk all of everything that he just said, because he just spewed a lot of racist lies, okay, about Indians. I particularly wanted to focus on his claim that Indians bathe in fecal matter, because in my opinion that is a pervasive myth that is kind of making the rounds in conservative circles. It's not true. And I was just doing a little bit of research on it, so this isn't super comprehensive. But I just wanted to talk about it, okay? Because there is, in fact, a river in India that Indians use for religious rituals and bathing and washing clothes. And this river runs through rural areas and sometimes becomes polluted. Okay, sometimes. And anyway, that it's not the same as like them bathing in feces. It's a disgusting lie. Okay, but this is something that you will hear them say a lot about various cultures, that they do gross things, they do, they're all like that, they do unsanitary acts. And Indians have been the victims of this for many decades. But anyway,
in our own nation, while simultaneously ignoring the fact that our own kids, our own children, do not have proper education, do not have the skills equipped with succeeding and thriving in their own country. What's going on with education? Dude, wasn't that one of the points of Trump running last year? Was we were going to redo the educational system and we were going to fix it and make it better? Every time I hear about education in regards to this administration is when they're talking about foreign students.
Yeah, no. Well, then you're dumb, okay? Because that's not the only time they talk about it. They talk about it when they're talking about getting rid of it completely. Okay? Yeah, it was a fucking lie when Trump said he was going to do education reform. When he said reform, he meant fucking axe it to death, okay? Fucking chop it up into little bits and spray its pulp down the drain. Okay, that's what like literally, this is just like open. This isn't even like what I'm saying isn't like reading between the lines or like speculating on, oh, did Trump mean this or what? Like, no, Trump has openly stated, what was the thing he said about his pick for the secretary? She needs to put herself out of a job, right? Meaning that he wants to get rid of the Department of Education completely. That is insane, okay? When Trump said education reform, what he meant was privatization. Okay, so we're gonna privatize education, which is going to open the door for religious fundamentalism, okay, Christian fundamentalism in our country. In our country, students being taught religious fundamentalism because of the school their parents decide to send them to. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. That shouldn't be. That's already an option that you can pick here, but it's about to be more accessible and easier, and it's just, a person like this is going to say that's awesome, in the same breath that they say they want like better education, they want more comprehensive education. Well, which is it, man? Do you want religious fundamentalism, or do you want better education? Because if you want the latter, Trump is still your guy. He's still doing it, okay? He's reforming education exactly the way you want it. He is. But if you're like me, and you want actually good education for the population, okay, you want secular schools that allow for religious practice but doesn't force any particular religious practice on any other student. If you want that, vibe, if you want that style of teaching, real education, real critical thinking, unbiased education, then Trump's not your guy, and he never was. Okay, so if you did believe that, if you really thought he was going to push American education in a positive direction, you are just absolutely delusional. That's it.
Who cares? We have our own problems. We have our own people, and we're not looking out for them? Our own children? At what fucking point is any of this make any type of sense? What does it mean to be an American? Is it really just buying a gold card? And I get it, it's $1 million. And a lot of people are gonna be like, it's $1 million, bro. It's gonna be a great system to make money. Dude, if we're at the point as a nation to where we have to put an actual price tag on what it means to be an American, if that's the point we've gotten to in this nation, and the only positive that anybody can give other Americans is that, oh, it's gonna make us billions of dollars in revenue. If that's where we truly are as a nation, to where we're that desperate from an economical standpoint, to where we need as much money as possible, to where we are literally just selling citizenship in this way. It's like, if that's where we are, what's the fucking point of being a country? We might as well, at this point, just fucking balkanize and split into different groups, because this shit is not working. It's like, this is what it means. This is what it is.
Look at Elon Musk. He bought his ticket. He was an illegal citizen. Why do you think he didn't get deported? Why do you think he didn't get caught? You think it's because of fucking Biden? You think it's because of Joe Brandon? Like, no, man. He did that under the Bush administration. I'm pretty sure he was a fucking illegal citizen. You want to know why he didn't get deported? It's because he got money. He's got money, okay? So it doesn't fucking matter.
Bring over as many foreigners as possible.
The rules never applied to
them. Of the best and brightest from all these other countries. Why? This is insulting to the men and women that have sacrificed their lives, whether it be through military service, civil service, what have you. The countless people that have bled for this nation, the countless people that have fought for this nation, the countless men that sacrificed for this nation. This is an insult to them. This is an insult to our founding fathers. This is an insult to anybody who is a true conservative and a true constitutionalist. I know I have a lot of gripes with the Constitution. I've said a lot of things a lot of you guys don't agree with, and we'll make a video talking about the Constitution later on. This is an insult to that. If you truly do believe in the Constitution, if you believe in the American way of life, and if you are a patriot, if you are proud, this is a big fuck you to your own face. And if you cannot see that, you're retarded. If the only fucking positive you can give me is that this is going to make us money, I don't give a shit. What are you talking about, make us money? We don't make money, dude. We have no money. We have a deficit. That's what we have. You don't make money. We don't make any money, dude.
No, man. There is wealth in this country. There is. It's just being hoarded by a few billionaires. That's it. Okay.
We pay our interests, and then we take on more debt. That's all it is. We don't actually make money as a nation, really. And when we do spend our money, we never spend it in the ways that matters. We never actually focus on fixing healthcare, how fucked up the healthcare system is in this nation. We don't focus on fixing education, but we're so worried about retaining other countries' students, their best and brightest. What about our best and brightest? I get a lot of people are stupid. I'm not going to sit here and say every single person who's poor is a genius. They just don't have enough money. They just don't get the free lunch. Like, I understand. I'm not making that argument, but it's like, dude, we're not even trying. Do you get that? We're not even trying to help out the disenfranchised youth of this nation. We're not even trying to help out the poor kids in this country. You think these CEOs, these Indian CEOs of all these tech companies and places, the ones that are truly pushing for foreign workers, for visas, for more immigration, legal, all these things, you think they actually want to hire people based off merit? The best and brightest? Half of these Indians that have degrees and diplomas, they're not even fucking real degrees. They're fake. They lie on the resume to get the job. That's what they do. And then they get approved. And then they get the jobs. And then where does that lead? A replacement. And, you know, this is radicalizing, truly, because I don't understand where this administration thinks this is going to lead. Do you think this is going to lead to people being okay with foreigners being here? You think this is going to make people less racist than they already are? You think this is going to unify people?
Yeah, you're forcing us to be racist. You're forcing us to be racist. That thing you just said, by the way, another lie. Another lie. Indians, people in other countries, they have legitimate degrees. Okay, they go to school, they go to university, sometimes in foreign countries, usually England. Okay, but anyway, they have real education. They do know things, okay, man? Okay,
and I'm not trying to be antagonistic here. I'm actually trying to ask a real question to anybody.
I'm not trying to be antagonistic when I say that Indians are lying and stealing our jobs and lying about it in an effort to replace us. Yeah, man. So non-antagonistic that is.
So
very non-antagonistic.
Trump card. If you completely agree with the H-1B visas and the foreign immigrants coming here, and you truly believe that all an American citizen is somebody who has a green card and waits in line, if that's who you are, if you truly believe that, where do you think this leads to? You think this is going to unify us? You think we'll just get over it and we'll just get along with people who don't even fucking speak English and don't want to assimilate at all into our culture? We're just gonna all get along and love each other as Americans because we're all Americans at the end of the day? Where do you think this goes? This makes people more radical. It does. People don't just get radicalized when guns start popping off. But you know what actually permanently radicalizes the majority of the masses? You know what actually radicalizes those people? The economy and jobs. How much do things cost? How much is electricity? How much does it cost to power all these things?
I agree with them.
How much resources do we have? And can I even have a job? Can I even afford to put food on the table?
And I would say that this is what causes 100% of political radicalization. It's the cost of living. Precisely. It's what radicalized me. Okay, I've talked before about how I was a Trump supporter. Okay, when I was 15, saw Trump on TV. I said he's going to be the president. I supported him. I've asked myself this question: why did I do that? And every time in my head, I go through the events leading up to my support for Donald Trump, I think about my life, I think about what I saw, what happened to me, to my family. It sounds reductive, it sounds silly, but it was just the recession. That's what radicalized me. It was economic downturn. I think that's what radicalizes everyone, whether they know it or not. Because at the end of the day, the reason I supported Trump is because I was angry. I was angry with my life, and I was more angry with the system. Okay, and I was angry about my prospective future, because I did feel like there was very little hope. I did feel like I would, struggle to find a job when I was older. I saw that. And I did blame immigrants. Like I said, I was a bigoted person. But anyway, that anger came from my view on the way things were going, the future. And it came from my current material conditions as well at the time. I lived in abject poverty at times, and my family struggled to put food on the table, to pay rent. Okay, and when you go through that, and you come from a place of wealth. Okay, like when you start your life off very affluent, very wealthy, and then you go to being extremely poor, it makes you extremely angry. It does. And it's it's internalized. It's not something that you can ever like express, really. You can't put it into words, because you don't know who to blame. You don't know who to blame because you can't blame rich people, who are the real reason, okay? And you can't blame rich people because your entire life you've been told that they deserve what they got. So that's it.
Table for my family. Can I afford to live in my own country? Or do I have to do what Ben Shapiro says, and do I have to pack my shit and leave? Go to a different city? Is that what I have to do? Is that really the answer? I could see that being an answer like 200 years ago. But today, with all the resources, logistics, all the things we have, that's still an answer? You have to pack up and leave? The city you grew up in, the city your ancestors grew up in, the place you were born, the place where you have a heritage, that radicalizes people more than any terrorist, any shooter, any killing, because people slowly start drowning. They start drowning in the fact that there's more and more foreigners. They start drowning in the fact that their neighbors don't look or act the same, nobody gets along, there's no jobs, they can't afford fucking beef. You think beef is expensive?
No, it's just that last part, man. Like, what world are you living in where like brown people are going around committing crime? People are scared of brown people. Brown people are living next to me, and I can't understand them, and I don't know what they're doing. Their culture is so different, and they're like, this isn't happening. This isn't fucking happening, man. Nobody is this schizophrenic, except for you, except for groypers. Okay, like, you guys are obsessed with race. Everybody else isn't. Okay, I'm trying to, like, I don't know how else to explain this to you. Like, I know you know this, okay? You're trying to get people to care like you do. So, you must know that nobody fucking cares. Okay, nobody fucking cares about race anymore. Okay, we're not in the 19th century anymore. This is a fringe thing. This is a niche thing. But what you were talking about right after the racism, the cost of beef, okay, the cost of groceries, people do notice that. Okay, people are affected by that. This is the source of people's anxiety. Okay, that's what you need to understand, man. It's not fucking brown people. Okay, whether you think brown people are the problem at the end of the day or not, that they're the ones causing the economic downturn or whatever. Okay, which is not true. Okay, but like, if we're just talking about the source of people's anxiety, you're making the claim that brown people are stressing out regular, everyday people. They're not. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not doing that. You're fucking delusional. Okay, people are stressed out because rent is high, groceries are high, everything is super costly. Used cars, everything's fucking expensive. RAM is fucking expensive. You know, you need a MacBook to do your job, to go to school. People do not blame brown people. They do not, for the most part. Okay, most people are just mostly normal. That's changing. Okay, people are becoming more radicalized. But, like, if you said this to a person, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, no, my anxiety does not come from foreigners. Okay, it just comes from the cost of living. That's it, man.
Now, there's reports to where beef might go up in 2026 an additional 60%. People start drowning in this. They start drowning in the debt. They get lost in the fact that they can't get jobs. And if they have a job, their kids can't get jobs. Their kids can go to school, take on all this debt, do all these things that they're supposed to do, and they can't win. They can't compete. They can't get a house. They can't get married. They can't find work. And then the government, as a solution to all this, will create a gold card. So some rich fucking foreigner asshole can become a citizen. Well, it's $1 million. You don't understand. Fuck anybody who would buy this car. Seriously. Yes. That's the solution to all of our problems, is we got to import rich assholes from other countries. Are you serious?
Yep.
Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. What an insult to anybody who truly is an American in this nation. A big fuck you to anybody who supported Trump last year. I supported him last year. I voted for him. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad he won. There's a part of me that is glad he won because I never gotta give Trump his due, baby. Like, he's 2-0.
You can't do it. It's disgusting.
I'm blocking women from becoming president, so it's like he's a legend
disgusting.
just for that. So that's awesome. But it still doesn't change the fact that this is a big fuck you to his own
Wait, what
voter
did he say?
who truly is an American in this nation. A big fuck you to anybody who supported Trump last year.
You can't do it. It's disgusting.
And don't get me wrong, I'm glad he won. There's a part of me that is glad he won because I would never want a woman to be president. And you got to give Trump his due, baby. Like, he's 2-0.
Okay. I would never want a woman to be president. Okay, bro. Okay. Well, I'm with her. Okay. We're gonna. These boots were made for walking. Okay. We're gonna stomp all over your penis.
I'm blocking women from becoming president, so it's like he's a legend just for that, so that's awesome. But it still doesn't change the fact that this is a big fuck you to his own voter base. This is a big fuck you to his own supporters. Two things can be true at the same time, and this is one of those cases.
Yeah, I hope I don't give a fuck if the president is a man or a woman, obviously, but I do hope a woman wins just to fucking piss off the conservatives. Okay, and like you can say that that's like dumb, that's silly, okay, and you're correct, okay, it is dumb, and it's exactly what they do with liberal, like they do things just to piss off the libs all the time. You know, it's like a meme, you know, it's like triggering the libs, you know. But I hope a woman wins. I hope that she I hope that she forces everyone to be trans at gunpoint. I hope that she imports 1 million illegals. Yeah. And also I hope that she forcefully injects everyone with fent. Okay.
Importing more foreigners? And it's not just the rich ones either. You think the H-1B visas are going to people who are experienced and educated and rich? A lot of them are going to people to take entry-level jobs. That's 80% of them. We've talked about that several times on this channel. And I'm going to keep talking about it. Why? Because that number still fucking stands. So where does this go? People will start to become more and more radicalized. And I don't know how many times I can say this over and over and over again. And a lot of people that are accelerationists, they'll say stuff like, well, this is good because in the long term, it will radicalize enough people to start pushing for what needs to be done. And it's like, well, yeah, it does. But it's the fact that as Americans, people are suffering. They've been suffering. And they will continue to suffer. And it's not because of some foreign government. It's because of our own government. Our own people are doing this to us. Isn't that crazy? Our own government could say no. They could stop making these deals. But they don't. They ignore the people that are in need. the younger generations that do need a better education, and then they insult you with stuff like this. Like, what is this? What are we even doing? What's the point of any of this? That's the question I have. What is an American, really? And if that's what an American is, if it's just spending $1 million to get a gold card so you can live here, and I understand it's technically a visa. I read all the shit about it, dude. I understand there's going to be some guy saying, oh, well, you do know if somebody breaks the law, their gold card can get overturned and they can get deported and all this. Like, I read all the bullshit, dude. I know exactly the fine print. I know what it says. That's not happening. This is a way for rich people to become citizens here. You think they're going to be coming here and creating jobs and businesses to help Americans? They're not going to be doing that. They're going to be coming over here and they're going to be using it as a way.
Nah, bro, they're going to be doing that. Nah, bro, meritocracy.
Like I've already said on this channel, there's going to be a radicalization of a lot of people next year. And that's going to play a big role in the midterms. But if you think...
Yeah, so I like it how when a rich person is brown, they are a leech on society. They are a, they are a parasitic force. But when we're talking about the average rich people, okay, white people, they are not parasitic. They are not leeches. No, they earned what they have. They earned it. Yeah.
Think this is going to embolden some conservative or some Republican to run on less immigration and they're going to have favor, they're going to win? No, dude, the conservatives are getting behind all of this bullshit. They essentially are completely setting themselves up for failure, not only in the midterms, but in the next presidential election. And obviously things can change. The climate for politics in 2025 is so fast, it moves and evolves so quickly that things can change at any point in time. But it's like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm not even pissed off anymore. Like, it's really just a disappointment. And it's embarrassment. It's like, this is it. This is where it leads to. This was supposed to be the greatest presidential administration of all time. Or so I was told last year after the election. The greatest presidential term ever. And this is it. Gold cards, more immigration, less actual Americans having jobs, more job cuts, more H-1B visas. Oh, but you don't understand. The H-1B visas cost $100,000 and the gold card costs $1 million. Blah, blah, blah. Costs money. Dude, money's bullshit, bro. It's all fake. It's all fucking fake. Dude, the people who want to take advantage of our nation, they can have all the money in the world. And in a lot of cases, they do. It means nothing. The people like us, to everyday people who struggle and have nothing, that's where it's a lot of money. But to the people that don't give a fuck, it's nothing to them. You're nothing to them. You mean nothing to them. In fact, you should shut the fuck up and you should do what you're told. That's all this is. But that's all I have to say. I mean, at this point, like, I'm not even surprised. The gold card, what's going on with India, China, all these students, it's like we can't even prioritize our own people, our own children, our own educational systems. And even when we do eventually get around to focusing on those things, it wasn't the first thing, you know? Fixing the education so actual American kids could have a real education, to be put on an actual path to success, to enter in the Ivy League schools, to become great citizens of this nation, that wasn't the first priority. It was the second thought. Like, we as American citizens are the second thought to this administration, to this government. And I understand it's not just Republicans, it's everybody, but, like, it's just so insulting.
Nah, we're not at second, bro. We're like way at the bottom of the list. Like, number one, number one is enriching Trump and his friends. Okay, that's at the top of the list. Okay, number two is, doing like shitcoin rug pulls, I think. Or like, no, sorry, like, that plays into it, but the larger picture is incentivizing Americans to gamble. Okay, we want Americans to gamble more, so like rain bet, Kalashi, or whatever the fuck it's called. Okay, like, whatever you want to put on the list, okay, the American constituency, American citizens, we are at the bottom of that list, okay? We are the last priority. Let me tell you something.
You start seeing the most rural towns in this nation where the majority of kids graduating in those classes in those schools aren't even American, they're Indian. 70% Indian, 80% Indian, Chinese, all these different things. Some idiot's gonna be in the comments, it's not about race, bro. That's where you groypers and fucking people get it wrong. It's not about race. I don't know, it kind of seems like it is about race. And if it isn't about race to you, it's definitely about race to me. And you know what?
Shit.
Fuck you. You're gonna have to deal with that because I am an American. So you can disagree with me on that, but that's not changing the way I feel.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, fuck you. I'll deal with it. Yeah, fine. That's what I'm doing right now, bro. You can be as racist as you want, okay? I don't agree with you. But yeah, like, you're an American. You can have those opinions. Of course you can. Nobody's even trying to take that away from you. Certainly not anymore. Okay, but in my opinion, never. Okay, like, there weren't really any liberals advocating for, like, making being a Nazi illegal. Okay, like, nobody's ever actually humored that like they do in Europe, because we have, like, in order to pass something like that, you would have to somehow convince the Supreme Court to allow it. Okay, because it's a violation of the First Amendment. And that's not to say that that would be impossible. It's just that it most likely would not be. Okay, it would.
And it's not going to stop the fact that a lot of people.
It would not happen.
More and more like me. Just wait. But that's it. That's all I wanted to say about this. But what?
Yeah, I agree with him. I think that that people are thinking more and more like him, and it's a big problem. It's not going to. This kind of thinking won't get our country anywhere positive. You know, this won't put us in a good place. This is going to put us in a very bad place, a very precarious situation.
What do you think? You guys agree? Do you
That's
disagree? What do you think of the Trump's gold card? What do you think of all these visas, these foreign immigrants, these students? What do you think of Trump saying that we need to keep all these people and we need to have the best and brightest from all these nations? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, what is an American to you? Is it a race thing? Is it a cultural thing? Is it just having a green card? Is it just, taking a test, waiting in line? Does it mean anything to anybody? Like, how can you ask a nation's native population to send their kids off to war, to sacrifice themselves and die, just so you can replace them with people who don't even speak the same language? Like, is that insulting to you? Let me know. Let me know. What do you think? And guys, I know this week on the channel was a little bit spaced out. I had a video come out earlier in the week, and then I didn't really have anything else happen. But I actually did. I did a collab on the Chill Porial podcast with Brian.
Wow.
It was a great video. I had a lot of fun on there. We were supposed to talk about politics, pop culture, movies, video games. But I'm not going to lie, guys. We kind of got carried away, and we were just talking about pop culture and video games. And I talk about a lot of stuff I grew up.
Isn't that what you said you were going to do? You got carried away and did the thing that you said you were going to do?
Childhood, different movies and shows I'm into. It was a lot of fun, man. We were just nerding out. But definitely a great conversation. I highly recommend you guys go check that out. I'm going to put a link to that in the description as well as the pinned comment below in the comments. It was a great conversation, but next year I'm going to go back on the podcast eventually, I don't know when, and we will talk about politics. We will kind of go more into that stuff. So a big shout out to Brian for hosting me and having me on. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So thanks to him. So go over, watch the video, support his channel, and subscribe to him. But as always, thank you guys so much for the love and the support. I can't believe we have over 12,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, bro. All right, anyway.